And so I ate the Brussels sprouts. Funny thing happened. For the first time, my post-meal blood glucose level actually went down. Now, my average glucose level at that time when I got out of the hospital was still in the 400s. But of course, 400 is still a lot better than 1300. And for them to try to get it below 200, they were going to go to the 5th insulin shot, but I didn't want to go to 5 shots. And so I called my doctor and I said, yeah, doc, you're not going to believe this, but my blood glucose level actually came down 75 points post-meal compared with my previous readings. And he said, well, DeWayne, that's an anomaly. Until we give you more medication, there's nothing that you can do that's going to lower your blood glucose level. I said, then why am I following your program? Well, DeWayne, that's going to prevent you from having another attack. And I said, oh, okay. So after I talked to him, my mother asked me, what did the doctor say? Well, I didn't want to tell my mother that the doctor disagreed with her, because then I'm caught in the middle. So I didn't say anything. I decided I'm going to keep eating these Brussels sprouts until my blood glucose level goes back up. Number one, it'll shut up my mother. And number two, I'll have something to tell the doctor. So I ate Brussels sprouts for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, for 7 straight days. And each day, my average post-meal glucose reading just kept coming down. When I called the endocrinologist, he said, DeWayne, that is an anomaly. And I said, but I've now got 7 days of data. He said, DeWayne, well, that's only 21 data points. I said, no. I tested my blood sugar 8 times a day. So I had 56 data points. And you're going to tell me all 56 data points are an anomaly? He goes, well, wait a minute, DeWayne, who authorized you to deviate from the program? And I said, my mother did. And he goes, oh. I said, do you want me to go against my mother? Doctor didn't know what to say. He goes, well, DeWayne, you understand that you're in a very delicate situation. You should be dead. And you're playing with your life. I said, well, aren't you doing the same thing? So he said, well, DeWayne, I want you to come in for a series of blood tests to demonstrate to you that you are in denial of the disease diabetes. And so they prepared and set up an appointment. I had to get the blood work done. And the purpose of this appointment was, first of all, are there any diabetics in the audience? Ooh, okay. So all of you are familiar with the hemoglobin A1C test. The hemoglobin A1C test measures the percentage of glucose attached to the hemoglobin. And the endocrinologist felt that I was maybe making some mistakes with the data. And I said, no, I'm not making any mistakes. I said, my daughter's the one writing down the numbers, so anyone making any mistakes is her. You want to talk to her? And this is a beautiful thing because, see, I could just blame other people. And the doctor couldn't really attack me. I said, yeah, you want to talk to my mother? You want to talk to my daughter? Yeah, because these are some strong women, let me tell you. So I went in to see the doctor. It was probably about 3 weeks later. And by this time, my average glucose level was, let's see, 4th week. I think it was by the 4th week, my average glucose level was 97.5. Yeah. Now understand, I was still taking insulin now, 4 shots a day. And the doctor came in. I was in the room with the physician assistant. He said, DeWayne, I want you to take a look at this report. I want you to understand that you are in denial of a disease that almost killed you and should have killed you. And that however you, your daughter, or whoever is collecting the data, they're doing something wrong. Because the hemoglobin A1C test, you can't fake it. Now, anybody here that's a diabetic knows you can fake the fasting blood glucose test, just starve yourself for 12 hours. That's what the doctor thought I was doing. So anyhow, the doctor walks in with the report, or I'm sorry, he walks in, looks at the physician assistant, go get me Mr. McCulley's report so we can get this over with. And so the physician assistant leaves, comes back in with the report, gives it to the doctor. And this is when you find out how doctors really operate. They don't look at your blood work until the moment you show up. So he looks at the report. Yeah, DeWayne, take a look at that number. Well, that can't be right. I said, well, what's wrong? He goes, the hemoglobin A1C it's wrong. It's impossible. It can't be. This is incorrect. He looks at the physician and says, go get me Mr. McCulley's report. This report is in error. This is impossible. And I said, what's impossible? He goes, this reading is impossible. I said, well, what is the reading? He says, there's no need in me telling you the reading, DeWayne, because it's in error. I said, could you just humor a brother and just tell me what the reading is? He said, well, it says 5.5%. Which is the high end for a non-diabetic. Your hemoglobin A1C should be somewhere around 7-8%. He said, so this is a mistake made by our lab. We're going to have to retest you. I said, we're going to have to retest me because it's an error? He goes, yes. And you know it's an error because, he said, because why? You're a diabetic. You're a type 2 diabetic. And the average blood glucose level of a type 2 diabetic in the United States of America is 175. Anywhere from 175 to 190, depending on which data you look at. So that translates to a hemoglobin A1C of 6.5 to up to 8%. So they reordered the test. A few more weeks went by, went back in. This time the doctor's running late, and he's running in, and he's getting a report. He said, okay, DeWayne, now take a look at this number. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I said, what's ridiculous? He goes, well, your hemoglobin A1C it's 4.5%. That's better than mine. I'm not a diabetic. It's better than mine. This is not possible. I'm going to send you to another lab. Yeah, this went on, for a couple months, or a couple weeks, few weeks. And at that time, I had started to reduce the insulin. Actually, Cynthia had suggested, she goes, well, Dad, if you're feeling better and you don't like taking all them shots, why don't you just cut back? And I didn't want to do that because I was a little nervous, because I still felt the doctors know what they're doing, and I don't want to be messing around with them drugs, and she kept pushing. I'm going, no, I don't think so. And this is when one of those blessings occurred, those serendipitous events. And Cynthia and I, we still don't know exactly what happened,